Hi all, this is Rat. This is kind of like a podcast, I guess, for magnet fishing for those of you who haven't seen any of the previous episodes. In this one, I'm over by the Francis Gate in Lowell. Some interesting history there you can look up. And this spot is right near a rail line, as you can kind of see to the right. And usually when you find rail lines, you find rail spikes. So I'm picking up a lot of spikes here. Bring them to the bucket. Eventually you'll notice I'll bring the bucket closer to me. Not yet though. Oh, there we go. There you go. I was thinking this is kind of like a podcast with a stronger than usual visual element compared to some of the other podcasts. Podcasts are pretty popular these days. I might need like a banter partner. So if you're a real life friend of mine and would like to provide some co-commentary on these things, or if you have any questions you think might add to them, definitely let me know. Meanwhile, let me just go back to talking about what we're doing here. This water is actually pretty clean, despite all the debris in it. Most of the issues you'll find in this water are related to what's at the bottom, so I don't mind reaching into it. We're about a quarter mile off stream of the Merrimack River. And my magnet is sticking to something there, kind of pulling it up a bit, and it is just out of reach. So I'm using the magnet. I can kind of see the item. I'm using the magnet just to give it a little bit of a lift, so it comes within reaching distance. So I can just reach through the water and grab it. If I had a grappling hook, I could have had that out much easier. But I don't. Plus the whole magnet thing is kind of fun. A little bit of progress being made. Took one glove off there. I ordered some better gloves, some dishwashing gloves. These work gloves have a tendency to get wet and soak through, so they probably weren't the best idea. And almost got it. Almost got it. Had it, lost it. Pulling it up a little bit, reaching in. Yeah, I probably could have sped this part up a bit too, I guess. Now, at this point, if this were a horror movie, obviously my reflection would attack me. Instead, though, we pull out this vintage 12-speed, I'm guessing. The shifters are on the down tube. Get the wrap. Oh, and the spike. It has a giant 10-foot metal rod there. That's an old feature they had on bikes in the 70s. And there's another rail spike. The spikes aren't... A lot of people think that's from people just coming along rail trails and... I'm sorry, not rail trails, but rail lines, putting their 10-foot pole away for some reason. The spikes, that is actually just a normal part of the process where they get replaced ordinarily. And when they do that, the folks who replace the spikes don't always take them with them. They just kind of toss them aside. So that's somewhat naturally occurring. So if you see spikes out in the wild, don't worry, the train is fine. It's not them just falling off. It's not people just, oh, look, another bike. What I thought was cool about this one was, see, the spike helped with the bike. So it was more of a case of the magnet and the spike forming a grappling hook and grabbing the bike together. And a small piece of rebar or something, along with a couple more spikes. Currently I have that whole bucket, which was full of spikes. I took those home. They're soaking in vinegar to get the rust off. That, I think, was a tire removal tool. Some sort of tool like that. I should probably soak that as well. More spikes. I've seen spikes on eBay going for about $1 each. And then I'm guessing the shipping weight is a lot more because they are kind of heavy. So they're probably more of a flea market item. I asked folks what they do with them, and they said, yeah, just give them to any 12-year-old blacksmith you know, so that they've got something to work with and practice on. I might do that. Some other rail tie related items. The bolts. Those probably actually just fall right out of the track at some point. I don't think they replace those too often. One, two, three, 4 spikes on the same magnet. Assuming those spikes are 2 pounds each, the magnet is rated for 175 spikes. Just a matter of them all getting along together. I was looking up the names of some of the other rail tie equipment, and I forget what the hell that C-clamp was called. Probably a C-clamp. There's another bike. I think is that bike number 2 or bike number 3? That I think is bike number 2. No, 3. Yeah, 3. And that's all the bikes we got today. There's definitely more in there. I think I just couldn't quite get the grab right on them. Another rod, another spike, some random metal. This is why you don't see a whole lot of vampires doing magnet fishing. Way too many spikes involved. Scrap metal, just random. I didn't really keep that one. There is a tie plate. Found a few of those. Not sure what those weigh. Probably about 12, 15 pounds each. In kilos, I think that's like 35 pounds. 30. The other way. 7 or 8 kilo. Suppose I could just weigh those. This recording has been sped up in points. Suppose I could just edit it out altogether, but then you wouldn't be able to count tosses and stuff like that. More spikes. Also, it helps show you that I am finding these literally cast after cast after cast. There's just stuff in there constant. There's just so much stuff in there that some places you can go out, you can throw your line out 50 times and not find anything, and here every time I throw it out, pretty much, nope, look, a tool, actual working tool. I think it was wire cutters, probably just need to be sharpened or something. But as I was saying, yeah, some places you go, you can cast out like 50 times, not catch anything. This one, every time I'm throwing it out there, I'm getting more spikes. Spikes and bikes. I think next time I go out this way, I should bring another bucket. One for the spikes, one for those giant pin things, and then maybe a Rubbermaid container for the plates, and a bike rack for the bikes. Surprisingly, no razor scooters out here. Got all this stuff and no razor scooters. I didn't think that would be possible. Random metal, like some sort of antenna or something. I have no idea what the hell that was. Putting that aside. Not even slowing down for that spike. Random non-spike. Shiny metal. And this is the tricky part. I think this is where the magnet got stuck on something. Oh, no, wait. Pulling more stuff out. What is it? It's a knife or box cutter or something. Yep. A little bit of a box cutter. No blade. That's just the blade holder. That shiny part. And, of course, a spike. Got to make these videos shorter. I've seen some videos, some folks make their videos like an hour long, 2 hours long, record everything, upload everything. I don't know if people can actually watch that much of it. I mean, I was there and I still want this sped up more often or edited out. I might add a little video off to the side here of something more interesting, like car wash or something. Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, this is me trying to get the magnet out. The magnet is totally stuck at this point, so I am just going different directions, different angles, wherever I can go. See if I can get that out of there. Not having any luck. I really don't want to dive into this water just because, I mean, the water itself is fine, but I'm not sure what's on the floor of the canal other than a bunch of spikes. So I'm climbing up here under the trestles just to try to get that any angle I can to loosen up the magnet. And that finally did it. Was able to, I think it was the height, the elevation, more than the angle that helped me get it back. So, nice little reunion there. Thank you for watching.